AITA because I don't want my half-brothers to come on a trip with my uncle and I. I am 15M and 3 older half-brothers, twins, Max and Jake, 18M, and Shane, 16M. We have the same mother, but they have a different father. Max, Jake and Shane's father is very involved in their life, and they live with him every other week. On the other hand, I have a deadbeat absent father that I never see. I have no relationship with half-brother's father. My half-brother definitely do not treat me the same way they treat each other. I have friends who have older brothers who are supportive and hang out with them and are there for them, and mine are nothing like that. Often when Max, Jake and Shane are at their dad's, I spend the weekend with my uncle, mom's brother. Because of that, my uncle and I are very close. One of the things we do together is watch NASCAR, since he's made me a fan. It's our thing. As far as I know, my half-brothers don't watch NASCAR. I've never watched a race with them at least. Next week Max, Jake and Shane were supposed to be at their dad's. My uncle was going to take me to the NASCAR race in Atlanta that weekend. Just him and I. However, my brother's dad has had to go away on some business trip, I guess. Meaning they aren't going to their dad's next week. Since they'll be here, my uncle also invited them to come to the Atlanta race with us. I don't want them to come. When they went to Europe, or Florida, or skiing, or New York, or any of the other trips they take with their dad, I don't get invited. They go away with him 2 or 3 times a year. I've never been away because my mom can't afford it. This will actually be my first time on a plane. They get everything. This is one thing I had, just my uncle and I, and he just invited them. Since they're going, I no longer want to go, and am considering telling my uncle that tomorrow. When he told me they were coming, he could see I wasn't happy. He knows how I feel about my relationship with them. But he said since they're home he can't not invite them, it wouldn't be fair. But it's not my fault their dad is going away. I know my uncle can't uninvite them now, so I really think I'd just prefer to stay home and not go. Wibta if I told my uncle I don't want to go and instead stayed home? Update: after reading the comments, I realized it wasn't my place to ask my uncle not to invite my brothers, as he is also their uncle. Also, if I chose not to go, it would just be denying myself something I really wanted to do and would upset my uncle, which I didn't want, so I decided to go to the NASCAR race. I also decided against saying anything further at that time. The days before we left, it felt like my brothers were being nicer than usual, so that was cool. They added me to their group chat, so that it would be easier to keep in contact on the trip, the reason they gave. I roomed with one of my older brothers, Max, in the hotel. On Saturday we went to the racetrack for the first races. I was getting food when I accidentally cut the line. I thought the people standing in front had already ordered. Someone pointed it out to me, and I went to the right spot in line. There was a guy in line who was super mad, going on about how I was a little asshole and only apologized because I got caught, and he walked up to me yelling. And then Max appeared and told the guy to calm down and to stop yelling at me. He kept yelling at me, and Max stood between me and the guy and told him, if you say another thing to my little brother, we're going to have a problem. And the guy finally backed off. I've never seen Max as mad as he was right then over that guy yelling at, and it mean a lot the way he jumped in. Back in our hotel room that night, I was thanking Max again for standing up for me earlier, and he told me as his brother he'd always do that for me. It seemed like the right moment, so I finally took the advice and opened up to him. I told him that I wished me, him, Jake and Shane hung out more together, and I'd like doing more stuff with him and them. We talked for a long time about our relationship. Max then talked to Shane and Jake, because the next day they both apologized for me having felt left out as well. When we flew back home, Max had told Jake more of what I had said. He asked me if he could first. Jake and I went out on Tuesday and talked about it a bunch, and he kept apologizing for letting me down. I told it was probably mutual and I didn't act like I wanted to spend time with them, but he told me he was my big brother and should have been better. We've all agreed to do better going forward. Kinda funny that it was a drunk guy yelling at me which got me to open up in the end.